Jaden Ivey, rookie stats versus Dwyane Wade rookie stats. This is going to be a fun comparison because Jaden Ivey finished the season 16 points per game, 5 assists, 3.9 rebounds. We're giving him 4. We round up over here. Dwyane Wade, 16 points, 5 assists because we're rounding up in 4 rebounds. They're identical numbers. You know what I'm saying? If we're going by the numbers specifically, yeah, it's a very fair comparison. But if we're breaking down their game, I don't know, a little different. But what are your thoughts on these two, man? And if the comparison's fair or not?
Yeah, I when I was looking at the stats and how similar they were, I was actually kind of surprised, like how close they were in numbers. But you do have to kind of look at the eras that they do play in. Obviously, Jaden Ivey plays in an era where there was no handshake rule, really.
Yep.
And Dwyane Wade was, Dwyane Wade in today's NBA would probably average 25 a game.
Oh, dude.
Like during his rookie season, because he was just so dynamic. But I have seen a lot of Pistons fans compare Jaden Ivey to a Dwyane Wade. My comparison has always been Victor Oladipo, and I'll still stand on that hill. I just think when I look at Jaden Ivey, I see at his peak he'll be like Indiana Victor Oladipo when he was averaging 30 points a game before he did have his injury, and now he's just kind of a shell of himself now with the Miami Heat. But it's pretty crazy when you do look at their numbers and how similar they are. It's just Detroit got the pick right, honestly.
The thing I want to see from Jaden Ivey, and I think maybe some people will disagree with me, but Dwyane Wade, he was a good two-way player. Like, I don't know if he made 3 all-defensive teams. I think that's the turn I want to see for Jaden Ivey, is become that elite two-way player. I don't care if he runs the team or not. I just want to see him make all defensive teams and lock people up. I think he has the athletic ability and the skill set to actually become a very good defender, similar to Dwyane Wade. But I see more of, and I love the Victor Oladipo comparison, man. I think that is almost spot on. I think that's perfect. But I still think Jaden Ivey, the biggest thing that you can hold over his head where these comparisons can die is that those two weren't as reckless. They weren't as downhill of runners as Jaden Ivey. They were more like control the pace, use their athletic ability when they need to, but also very smart, cerebral players. And that's the part that Jaden Ivey is missing from his game. I think if he can figure that out, both Victor Oladipo and Dwyane Wade are very solid comparisons. But also, he needs to bulk up a little bit and use his size and his strength like Dwyane Wade and take a little, you know what I'm saying? Again, like, don't rely on your athleticism to get points. Use your skill, use your size, use your strength to muscle your way in or back a few people down, because we still see that from guards. And use that type of thing, and then you'll be able to be more comparable to Dwyane Wade. But I think stats-wise, that's crazy that they almost average identical numbers rookie season. That's crazy, man. But, man, dude, you look at Dwyane Wade's accomplishments, whoo, that's a tall ladder to climb for Jaden Ivey, man.
Yeah, I mean, 3-time champion. I mean, if we're doing comparisons, and how you comped Jalen Duren to Dwyane Wade, and or not Dwyane Wade, to Dwight Howard.
Well, I said yeah, I did.
And fans are comping him to D Wade. I think Jaden Ivey, towards the end of the year, he started, maneuvering and using picks and not solely, thinking, okay, I got to go 1,000,000 miles an hour to get this basket. I think he's figured it out. I think it's a fair comp if he does hit a ceiling and he keeps developing. Like Dwyane Wade wasn't an elite 3-point shooter, but Jaden Ivey showed flashes that he could possibly be more than a league average 3-point shooter. He kind of showed later in the season that he can slow it down and get to the basket and just pick a defense apart. Working out of the pick and rolls are, I think, is something that I really liked watching towards the end of the season. And I think his passing is so underrated. Not a lot of people talk about Jaden Ivey's passing, and it just got better as the season went on. But the fact that he had numbers comparable to Dwyane Wade, who, in my opinion, is one of the greatest shooting guards of my generation watching, that's awesome.
He's the 3rd greatest shooting guard of all time, in my opinion. Jordan, Kobe, Dwyane Wade. Like, I mean, oh man, Dwyane Wade. I would almost take him over Kobe Bryant in some scenarios, dude. Like, it's pretty close for me in those two. I mean, Kobe had a much longer peak, but Man, Dwyane Wade, dude, he was incredible. I loved watching him play basketball, man. I really did, dude. He was so much fun. But yeah, I think it's a solid comparison. I mean, it's just there's still a little bit more growing for Jaden Ivey to do. I think he could. I don't want to say that he could play just like when we make these comparisons, we're not saying like he's going to play exactly like Dwyane Wade. They're just bits and pieces of his game where we're like, okay, yeah, that reminds us of Dwyane Wade. Like we're not going to say he's going to be a carbon copy of Dwyane Wade. That's impossible. Nobody's ever going to be another Dwyane Wade. But there's going to be guys that grew up watching him and took parts of his game and added to theirs. And I think it's fair to say that with Jaden Ivey, man. But the only thing is, I want to see him take, like I've already said, take more of that defense from Dwyane Wade's game and apply it to his own because I don't know. I want to see an elite two-way player out of Jaden Ivey, man, like we saw with Dwyane Wade.
Yeah, Dwyane Wade used to block shots like crazy.
I think he was the first guard ever to have 100 blocks in a season.
Yeah, we're not like you said, not carbon copies comparison, but there's flashes in his game that you see D Wade, you see a little bit of John Moran or whatever. He's just a phenomenal player. I'm so glad that he was there at 5.
Oh, dude, it seems like such a steal at 5 though too. That's what's crazy.